And these are the latest pictures coming in of External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar meeting Russian President Vladimir Putin in Moscow. Earlier today, the External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar, we also had visuals of him meeting Lavrov in Moscow. And you can see that, from the first pictures coming in, there is a video that's also coming where Vladimir Putin is sending his message sitting across the table from S. Jaishankar, and also reports he's invited the Prime Minister, that is Prime Minister Modi, to Russia. And these are some more details that we're picking up. Putin has just met Jaishankar in Moscow. The first visuals of that meeting coming in 7 hours after S. Jaishankar, the External Affairs Minister, has met Sergei Lavrov in Moscow. Now, he's also invited the Prime Minister, that is Vladimir Putin, the Russian President, has invited the Prime Minister to visit India. But he's invited Prime Minister Modi to visit Russia, I beg your pardon. That's the other update that's coming in. And External Affairs Minister Jaishankar, to that invitation of Putin, has responded that the Prime Minister Narendra Modi is looking forward to visiting Russia next year, and that a mutually convenient date will also be set. Now, these are some breaking updates that we are picking up from Moscow as we look at the first pictures that are coming in from that meeting when Vladimir Putin met S. Jaishankar. And this is S. Jaishankar calling on the Russian leader, Vladimir Putin, at the Kremlin. This meeting has happened earlier today. And there's a 3.5-minute video that's also been put out by news agency ANI, where you can hear Putin saying that we will be glad to see our friend, Mr. Prime Minister Modi, in Russia very, very soon. And S. Jaishankar is on a 5-day official visit to Russia. The External Affairs Minister is there on a 5-day official visit to Russia. He earlier also met with his Russian counterpart, Sergei Lavrov. That meeting was about 7 hours ago. And during a joint media appearance along with Lavrov, after the talks took place in the Kremlin, Jaishankar also said that he was confident that the Prime Minister, and that is Prime Minister Modi and President Putin, will meet for an annual summit next year. And in his opening remarks, S. Jaishankar had also said that the two leaders have been in frequent contact. The Prime Minister, that is Prime Minister Modi, and Vladimir Putin have been in frequent contact over the years, and more recently during the Ukraine-Russia war as well. The summit between the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, and the Russian President is also the highest institutional dialogue mechanism in the strategic partnership between the two sides. And so far, 21 annual summits have taken place alternatively in India and Russia. The last summit that took place was in New Delhi in December 2021, when Vladimir Putin was also in New Delhi. And Putin saying that the trade turnover between Russia and India was growing, particularly on account of crude oil and high technology areas. And he noted that the trade turnover, while growing for the second year in a row at the same time, and also was growing at a steady pace, and that the growth rate this year is even higher than in the last year. Jaishankar also held a comprehensive and productive meeting with the Deputy Prime Minister of Russia, Denis Monturov. This was during his visit. This meeting, however, was on Tuesday on the bilateral economic cooperation, during which they also witnessed the signing of some very important agreements related to construction of future power generating units of Kudankulam nuclear power plant, which was also discussed between both India and Russia during the visit. I have my colleague Abhishek Kapoor also joining on the phone. Abhishek, the fact that Putin sat across the table with S. Jaishankar and they've had a very detailed conversation. Your takeaways from this conversation, Abhishek?
Well, first up, Niranjan, that the Russian president has invited Prime Minister Putin to Russia, and it's going to be a summit-level talk like it couldn't happen last year because of the restrictions that President Putin had on his movements. So that's going to be important. And the fact that while it was External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar on the Indian side, President Putin sat with his foreign minister, his foreign policy advisor, his trade minister, really shows the kind of engagement there in place, and already the MOUs that have been signed and more detailed conversations had, for example, on the north-south trade, including the Chennai-Vladivostok corridor. Niranjan, what is important is that the optics are really have strong messaging. And my most important takeaway, since you asked, is that post the Pannu episode, I think there is a bit of a frost between India and the United States, and with the kind of choice of words we have seen about multipolarity, for example, between External Affairs Minister Dr. Jaishankar and Sergei Lavrov of Russia, I think there is an element of messaging also that the Americans should not have pushed us the manner they did. So that's an important takeaway. But I think the fact that this was a long due thing that had to take place. Also remember that Christmas is over in the West. In Russia, Christmas happens in of January, and typically this is already festive season and people go on leave. But then exception has been made, and welcoming external. So I think some dynamics playing out there on a strong India-Russia partnership on energy and trade, and of course, Russian President inviting Prime Minister Putin for summit-level talks, which are going to happen sometime next year.
Thank you, Abhishek, for joining us with those inputs. In fact, Vladimir Putin has also, confirmed about and acknowledged India's efforts about the conflict and our concerns, saying that Putin also knows his desire, and he's referring to do everything to resolve the problem, and that they would talk about that in more detail and keep India informed as well. We have the full transcript, details of which will be on republicworld.com. That's it for now. Thank you, Abhishek, for joining us. Going back to the debate with Arnab now. Back to you for now.